Now see, it's only a question of time before something's going to happen to your roof. You're going to need a new roof. You're going to have a leak in your roof. Something's going to happen to your roof. And when the inevitable does take place, then you want to be sure that the roofer that is up on your roof, the person that you call, is the right person. Well, how do you know who the right person is? Well, I'm going to give you a little hint. In this program, you're going to meet the fellas from Gainesville Roofing. And I assure you that after you watch this program, then you will know that they're the right people to put up on your roof. This is a roof that this morning didn't exist. What you see here right now is been done in a day. And typically their work gets done in about 2 days. But anyway, you know what? I'm giving away all their secrets. I want them to tell you about it. Maybe I can get them down off there. I think they finished their inspection, the final inspection. Say, Ken, Charlie, do you think you can come? Are you finished with your inspection up there?
Yeah.
How's it look?
Good. Pretty good.
Okay. Now, this may be difficult to believe. I've already mentioned this, that they just started this roof this morning. When did you guys actually do the rip-off here?
We started yesterday morning, probably about 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. So, is it typical to be finished so quickly? This is basically less than a 2-day job.
Oh yeah, that's about normal. We had quite a bit of plywood we replaced up there. Otherwise, we would probably been finished probably 10 o'clock or so this morning.
So, to be a good roofer, what's the most important part of being a good roofer, do you think?
Be honest, be punctual, be clean,
right.
and let the homeowner know step by step what's going on, to where they understand the process, and that's one less thing that they have to worry about.
Now, we do free estimates, and it's kind of as a courtesy to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
We get out there, we try to get out there within 24 hours of them calling in for an estimate, and we get out there and we ask them what they're looking for in a roof, and then we try to tailor the roof that they're looking for to the products that we sell.
Are most people looking for a shingle roof?
A lot of people are looking for a shingle roof. A lot of people are looking for a metal roof for the energy efficiency.
What's the benefit in your mind to a metal roof over a shingle roof, or is there a benefit?
It's a personal preference.
When most people want a metal roof, they want it because it'll reflect a little bit more of the sun's UV rays than what the shingles will.
The strength of a metal roof is good. It's a superior grade roof.
Okay. Now, we're going to be spending this entire half hour. These gentlemen are going to take us to several different places where they have roofs installed so that you can see for yourself and hear for yourself and listen to the comments by the people for whom they have done the work. Now, that's what we have in store for you in this program. If you have any questions, the best thing to do is to pick up the telephone and call the office. Go to the website. There's some information there that might be helpful. But mostly, listen and carefully observe what you hear in this program and see if it doesn't make sense to you. Because as we said earlier on, as we began the program, it's just a question of time, isn't it, Charlie, before you're going to need to have somebody on your roof.
Everybody eventually will need one.
Right.
And we do all types of roofing, new roofs, repairs, anything that you need done. Gutters, fascia, soffit, windows, siding. We can cover all of it.
Okay, we got a lot of ground to cover in this half of an hour. You're going to see a lot of roofs. You're going to hear a lot of happy people talking about Gainesville Roof and why they selected them, how they selected them, and what they did for them.
Sometime you're going to need your roof repaired or replaced. When that time comes, call Gainesville's best certainty master shingler, Gainesville Roofing.
This is the third job they've done for us, and we've been very happy with every one of them.
These guys really do go the extra mile.
Gainesville Roofing will deliver superior on-time performance, workmanship, and service.
I didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, from permit to dealing with the adjuster, Ken was on top of everything.
Call now for a free inspection and price quote.
On a 0 to a 10, how did they score?
Well, for me, they score 10.
Mm-hmm.
This is the third job they've done for us, and we've been very happy with every one of them. We wanted to replace the roof on our double-wide home, and I'm not sure whether Lance saw the truck on the road, possibly, and called Ken, and he came by, and they did an excellent job on our home. Matter of fact, they went above and beyond because we had a little chimney up there that was kind of crooked, and they straightened it up and fixed it all up for us.
Flashed it out?
Yeah, we were very pleased with what they did there.
Okay. And then you had them back to do another piece of work for you.
Right. We have another double wide on that same property that we rent out, and we could tell a roof needed fixed on it. So we called them out, and they were very timely and did a very good job on it. So when we bought the hole-in-one golf course, we needed this roof done. Then we said, well, call Ken.
This particular building, this is, why did you have to do this? What happened here?
Well, the roof had some minor damage to it, and we were afraid we were going to get some major leaks if we didn't replace it.
Right.
And so we just bit the bullet and did it.
The other two houses that you did were not shingle, were they? You did a metal roof on one of them, didn't you?
They were both Galvalume.
Oh, okay.
And they look real nice. Both of them do. It improved them 100%.
And why didn't you go for the metal roof
Well,
over here?
expense mainly, because we're putting so much money into the golf course to get it up and running like we want it to be, and so we kind of took the cheapest route. But it looks very good.
It certainly
I was
does.
out here this morning and I thought, oh my, that looks nice.
And how long did it take them to do this? Because they just cleared out of here.
About a day and a half. I was out here, well, no, I was out here around 2 and they were gone.
Aren't you amazed at how quickly they do this?
I am. And they're quick to give us quotes, and they're quick to get here when they say they're going to be here. They're here, and they do a good job. And they don't leave any messes for you.
Right.
They clean up their mess, which is good.
Tell us a little bit about what you found here and why you recommended the metal roof. Or were they already interested in it?
They were interested in the metal roof. I usually give a price for shingles too. But whenever we come out and we do that, we go over the process from beginning to the end. That way they understand everything that's going on whenever we do a roof for them.
What were you expecting to find under the roof that was already there, which is a fairly old roof, I guess, huh?
Yes, most of the roofs we find anywhere from 2 to 5 sheets of plywood that are bad usually. I don't believe there was quite that many on this roof. Whenever we come to do that, we tear the roof off all the way down to the roof deck. We re-nail the deck down to a current code. Right. And then on this particular one here, we dried it in with a tile and metal underlayment. But what that is, it's a self-adhering underlayment that sticks right to the wood deck itself.
I see.
And if
you don't have to nail it down?
No, it sticks. It's self-adhering.
Okay.
And it sticks right to the deck itself. And if there's
you
any
put paper over that?
No, that takes the place of the paper.
I see.
We do away with all the paper, and that is the underlayment. And anytime a screw goes through it, when it gets hot, it adheres right back to around the screw.
So it heals, basically?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so what you don't have is the wicking of the water.
Right, right. And in the event that water ever did get under there, there's no way for it to make it to the wood. It'll have to run all the way back under the metal and fall off the edge of the roof there.
When you come out to give an estimate on a roof, obviously there's some unknown factors there. You don't know exactly what you're going to find when you do the rip-off. So how do you account for that in your pricing?
Well, what we do with all the customers is we give them a price of the roof, and then the wood is a unit price per sheet of plywood and per linear foot of any dimensional boards that we need to put on there. So that is the only addition to the price that we give them because it's an unknown.
And do you find a lot of homes have wood that goes below the substrate? Problems, rot that goes below the substrate, and you have to deal with that as well?
Not
down
many
to
times.
The trusses?
Most of the time it's just within the plywood itself or whatever the substrate is.
When you do your pricing, and of course pricing is very important to people, especially nowadays, how do you know that you're going to come in with the best price?
Well, what we do is we get our material list, we figure it up, we figure out what it takes for the labor and what it takes for the dump and the permits and everything else, and then we add our percentage to it, and we do it basically at a bottom line so we know that they're getting the best price that we can give them to do what we're going to do. Right. We don't always do the same thing as all the other companies. A lot of the other companies, they'll want to go over the shingles with the metal. We try to take everything off and get down to the substrate to make sure that we have a good deck.
I recognize, Ken, that a lot of people are basically on shopping trips. They're not ready to make a commitment, but I'm talking about now the people who are ready to do it tomorrow, the next day, so on and so forth. What percentage of those battles that you're in with your competitors do you think you win?
We usually win about 80%.
Well, that's a very fine figure.
When we received one of our estimates, it was a little more than what Gainesville Roofing had given us. And they were not going to replace the old shingles. They were just going to put everything right on top of what we had. And as it turned out, we needed wood replaced under there.
On a scale of a 0 to a 10, with 0 being the worst, the absolute worst, and a 10 being the absolute best, how would you rate Gainesville Roofing?
I'd have to give them a 10 on that. We were very, very satisfied.
Great.
Very satisfied, yes. And we recommend them to anybody.
Sometime you're going to need your roof repaired or replaced. When that time comes, call Gainesville's best CertainTeed Master Shingler, Gainesville Roofing.
This is the third job they've done for us, and we've been very happy with every one of them.
These guys really do go the extra mile.
Gainesville Roofing will deliver superior on-time performance, workmanship, and service.
I didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, from permit to dealing with the adjuster, Ken was on top of everything.
Call now for a free inspection and price quote.
I didn't have to worry about anything. In fact, I fixed breakfast for them. They were I would bring biscuits out to them, you know, and they were like, oh, thank you. But they were thorough. Ken actually dealt with the insurance adjuster because there were a few problems and with some materials. And I didn't do the calling. Ken called. Ken actually had to get the adjuster in Texas because the adjuster had to go to Texas and leave Florida. So Ken made a call to Texas, faxed material to the gentleman in Texas. You don't find too many companies that would do that.
This is a commercial job due to the nature that it's rentals and leased buildings and things like that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, are these, I don't know how to say this exactly, but are these like a little more strenuous? Are these a little more hectic than, let's say, the single one-off jobs?
There's a lot more things that we have to look out for in a job this size. There's a lot more people. There's a lot more cars.
Yeah.
It's our job to keep the nails, the trash picked up, keep the parking squared away.
Keep it looking like it's looking
Keep
now,
it looking
right?
just like it is.
Yeah.
Keep stuff from falling on people's cars. Make sure the cars are moved ahead of time. Make sure people know the day before so nothing surprises them. Yes, there is a lot of extra work that goes into a job of this size.
Do you feel like when you're a roofer that the commercial jobs in some way require a different perspective than a residential job does? Am I saying that right? You understand what I'm saying?
Well, both jobs need a lot of attention.
Yeah.
You can look at Mr. and Mrs. Jones's house one way. You got to look at this job a different way because there's more than just a husband and a wife and a couple of kids. There's probably thousands of people that live in this complex. A larger job like a shopping center or things like that, you can let things lax a little bit more on cleanup and things like that because it's already stuff scattered all over the place. So yes, this is a major job for us to keep things nice and tidy.
So it's not only doing the job of work, but it's also
pleasing everybody.
Pleasing
That's
everybody. And of course, the main one you have to please would be Sid and the staff here, because they're the ones ultimately going to pay the bill.
That's right.
Yeah. Spyglass is only one of how many communities that your company owns?
We have about 16 communities in the Gainesville market, close to 3,000 beds that we take care of in Florida. We have some properties on the northwest side of town that we'd consider to be more professional in nature. Right. Then of course on the southwest side of town, when you're close to the university, we see a lot more students in those units.
Okay, now off camera you were telling us that these units now, most of your communities are about 10 years old. So you're at the point now where maintenance is definitely something you've got to be after all the time. And as pretty as it is, I know you spend a lot of money on it.
We do. It's important to keep up with the Joneses. So we're in an ever-going battle trying to make sure that our properties are just as nice as the ones being built around the corner, and they are.
What percentage of your budget do you think you spend on maintenance?
Way too much. It's an ongoing issue, that's for sure. For us, I would tell we're probably looking in the ballpark of about 15-20% is what we're looking on for a maintenance type issues.
And are you squeezing that nickel till the buffalo howls?
I think we all are right now. With the economy the way it is, we all are. And so the capital programs and capital projects that we do, such as the roofs and things like that, are essential for us to get the best price.
So, Sid, when it comes to giving out these bids to this select group of contractors, how do you go, what's the process that you go through?
Of course, we're going to evaluate price. We're going to look at that. That's an option for us with the economy the way it is. It's very important. Other thing is really kind of evaluating how they're going to treat my customer.
Yeah.
We don't want to be in their homes any more than we have to.
Right.
And that's something that Gainesville Roofing has done. It's been spectacular at.
Spectacular in what way, sir?
They are quick. They get on our site. They're thorough. Attention to detail as far as customer service. If something does happen, they respond very quickly to that, and we've been thrilled with them.
In addition to being nice guys, you've got liability issues that you've got to look after.
Absolutely, and of course they all have to be bonded and have the proper insurance and go through those hoops. And again, they're very good at that. So working with the city, working with the inspectors, making sure that things are done, again, couldn't be better. They were super. The other thing I like about them is they went above and beyond. When they were on my site out here, we had probably 3 or 4 units that had small leaks that occurred, not units that we had budgeted to replace this year. And they took care of them for us at no additional cost, which I thought was huge. The other thing that we do is we want to make sure when we're on roofs that if I have maintenance guys that have to go up there, that they have hooks on the roof and things like that, so we can use the proper equipment for our guys to clean gutters and along those lines. And they did all those for us as well. Well, the nice thing about Gainesville Roofing for us is we believe that whether you're working with a vendor or working with a customer, that relationship is the key. And they have the same philosophy. So recently we had a storm come through and I had a limb come through and do some damage in one of our townhouses. And I called Ken and they were out here just like that. Presto. Yeah. We were solved and up and running literally that day.
If you had a scale from 0 to a 10, and 0 was the worst, and 10 was the best, where would Gainesville Roofing be and why?
You're going to put me on the spot. That's a tough question.
I'm sorry, but I need to do it.
And 10's a wonderful number, and I will tell you as a company, it's hard for me to ever give 10s. I know when I'm evaluating employees and evaluating myself and critiquing everything, 10 scare me, but I'll tell you, they're as close to a 10 as you can get. Okay? These guys really do go the extra mile, and we appreciate the energy, the effort, the fact that they respond to our wishes as far as timing and working with the residents, and I wouldn't use anybody else. As long as their prices are right where I need them to be, they're going to be here for a long time to come.
Most of the time on something this size, Ken will come out and take the measurements.
Right.
He'll come back to the office and we'll do some figures on material and things like that, and it's pretty much something that we do together.
Now I know that to the vexation of many of your competitors, that you guys know how to figure these jobs right, meaning right for you, but also right for the customer. And that's not something you learn overnight. Without giving away any secrets to the competitors, I want you to explain to me what you have in mind when you're bidding a job like this.
Well, sir, I'm a third-generation roofer.
Yeah.
My dad, my grandpa was roofers before me, and I learned from them. And there's a lot of time and preparation that it takes to do a bid of this size. It's just experience.
Yeah. It's just having the eye, so to speak.
That's
I guess
right.
Is probably
knowing the things to look out for.
Knowing the things to look out for. So, when you these are all roofs that you've had charge of, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you come out here and they say, we want you to look at our roofs, is there any telltale sign that would tell you these are roofs that are in trouble?
All the roofs that we ain't done are in trouble.
Okay. That basically says it. If you had your druthers, would you rather do more commercial or more residential?
I like doing both of them.
Uh-huh.
Both of them bring different challenges, and that's what makes my day go.
Are there a lot of surprises? Like in residential, I know that there are a lot of surprises. You can look at a roof like this, and even with your experience, you can't always tell what's underneath, can you?
No, sir. Once you get the roof off, there's always surprises. Sometimes there's one sheet, sometimes there's 20, sometimes there's 30, sometimes there's 5. You just don't know until you get the roof off.
Yeah.
But the main reason why we want to take these roofs down all the way to the decking is to make sure that we nail that deck off to today's code, so in the future, if there ever was a storm.
Very important to talk about that, because you have, are you applying the Miami-Dade codes to these roofs?
Yes, sir. They are very close to the Miami-Dade codes. We do things sometimes above and beyond what the code actually calls for, just for protection for our customer and ourselves.
Sometime you're going to need your roof repaired or replaced. When that time comes, call Gainesville's best certainty master shingler, Gainesville Roofing.
This is the third job they've done for us, and we've been very happy with every one of them.
These guys really do go the extra mile.
Gainesville Roofing will deliver superior on-time performance, workmanship, and service.
I didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, from permit to dealing with the adjuster, Ken was on top of everything.
Call now for a free inspection and price quote.
We had a tree fall on.
Uh-oh.
Yes, we had a bad storm and a tree limb fell on it. I had never experienced dealing with any kind of roofing problem whatsoever. We had to call the insurance adjuster to come look at the roof, which at that time he said we did need a new roof. I explained to him what had happened. He got on the roof, looked at it, walked the entire roof, got down. I showed him what the insurance adjuster had given us. He didn't give any qualms, you know, saying, well, no this, no that. He came inside my home. He met my parents. My father has Alzheimer's, which some people don't understand, those type people. My mother being in a hospital bed. He was very cordial, knowing that they would like to have a part in the decision making. He went in and talked with them, showed them the type, samples, shingles, colors, the whole 9 yards. I mean, he took the time. When they started the work, he was here. When the materials were delivered, he said, the materials will be delivered on this date. They were. When the job was going to be started, the men were here. Ken was here.
So you never really had any other estimates except from Gainesville Roofing?
Right.
Well, you must have been pretty sure that you wanted to do business with Gainesville Roofing.
It was. And it wasn't so much the cost, but it was Ken's personality and his attitude and just
Any feeling that you could...
Right, that I could trust him
yeah.
and the company and just his way of dealing with my mom and dad. I mean, I felt like that he really cared and was going to do a good job for them and for me in taking care of the roof and knowing that this was an elderly couple and this was something that if it were his parents, that he would want somebody to do the same for them. So I was very pleased.
Sometime you're going to need your roof repaired or replaced. When that time comes, call Gainesville's best certainty master shingler, Gainesville Roofing.
This is the third job they've done for us, and we've been very happy with every one of them.
These guys really do go the extra mile.
Gainesville Roofing will deliver superior on-time performance, workmanship, and service.
I didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, from permit to dealing with the adjuster, Ken was on top of everything.
Call now for a free inspection and price quote.
So, Charlie, are you upset at all about the fact that Ken's getting all the love over here from Susan, that she didn't mention your name?
No, Alan, that really makes me feel good. That lets me know that I've hired Ken, that he's an excellent employee, and he looks out for me and my company just if it was me.
That's what I heard coming through, is that, Kenny, that you really took care of these folks.
Well, we just try to treat people like they're family. I mean, we all have families, and if somebody came to me and they kind of sound like a used car salesman, then right then I would shut them off and wouldn't want to deal with them. And I feel like, you know, just to treat everybody like a family.
We just treat people the way that we would want to be treated and we would want somebody else to treat our family.
Now, I'm making this assumption. Charlie, you and your family have been in the business for 3 generations.
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Right, yeah. But, Ken, how about you? How long have you been in the roofing business? And was Gainesville Roofing the first company you ever worked for?
I actually worked with Charlie years ago. I worked with his grandfather right out of high school for a little while. And I got off in a different field, and then I came back to the roofing field.
What's the first thing you're going to look at when you see a roof that's been damaged? Where are you going from there?
Well, from there, I get up on the roof and I assess the damage to see exactly what's wrong with it. And then we start figuring what it's going to take to fix it.
Is every single roof, is it like fingerprints? Every one is different, or is it pretty much, you've seen one, you've seen them all?
No, a lot of them are unique to their individual building itself. Some of them have a lot of, they're kind of, we call it cut up. They have a lot of offsets and valleys and things like that. And some of them are your basic gable or your basic hip house. But they mostly They all are individual.
I'm curious to know why Gainesville Roofing it represents Certainteed. What is it about Certainteed that you like?
Certainteed products are a superior product, and I feel comfortable with my name and reputation. I want a superior product. I'm just impressed with the material, the way it's developed, the way it's installed, and everything about it, and that's what makes me proud to use Certainteed roof materials.
And your company, your company and Ken have this designation which is very, very important, and we want to talk about this. It's Master Shingler. What exactly does that mean?
The Master Shingler is a designation that you receive from Certainteed after so many years of being in business, so many jobs that you've done, inspections that Certainteed have went back and looked on your jobs. It's just to let people know that you are a qualified roofer and install the material to their specifications.
Ken, there's another benefit to the homeowner for you guys being Master Shinglers, isn't there?
Yes, well, it gives the customer great confidence in the material that we're using, and it also gives them the opportunity to have a better warranty than just anybody else off the street that come in there and put the shingle on.
Excuse me, a better warranty? You mean that because you're a Master Shingler, Charlie, that the customer gets a better warranty?
They have the opportunity to upgrade to a different type of warranty other than just your standard warranty, and that's only provided with companies that have the Master Shingler certification.
So you know that the next question is going to be, how many companies are there in the greater Gainesville metro area that have that Master Shingler designation? Do you know?
There's probably one or two, but there's not very many that have the Certainteed.
Okay. So Certainteed Master Shinglers, you guys are kind of at the top of the
We're at the top of the list in the Gainesville area.
Okay, all right. This particular job, fellas, when you did this job, what's your objective in getting in and getting out? We talked a little bit about, everybody we've talked to has said what a great job you do, clean up well, everything is the way it's supposed to be.
Alan, you know, you can't really rush perfection.
Yeah.
We try to get things done as fast as we can, but we also want to make sure we take time and do things the right way.
I mean, if we tell somebody we're going to be there on the 10th at 7:30 in the morning, usually we're there waking them up at about 7:15 or so.
We try to be on time or a little before time, and sometimes things happen. The weather has a very big variation on start times and end times, but we try to be very punctual. The only thing that really slows us down is weather, and we call the homeowner and let them know we're looking for a big chance of rain tomorrow or today.
If we're not going to show up, they're going to know it before we just don't show up, and it's time for us to be there.
That's what I was really looking
I mean, the communications between us and the customer is something we take a lot of pride in.
I didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, from permit to dealing with the adjuster, Ken was on top of everything, and he went step by step with me.
So Ken's your hero.
Oh, I would recommend his company to anybody, and I have.
This half of an hour is brought to you by Gainesville Roofing. We think that you're getting the idea that this is a very fine company, maybe the finest in the area. So if you have issues with your roof, free estimates.